What's up, everyone? This is crazy. But this is what I was talking about. We're going to do a one-take Wednesday because we all know I have the trip to United by Broncos in Sand Hill, Utah. So I just want to go over this stuff. This is crazy. This fast. So many days, so many nights, rushing back and forth between work and my shop. And I work 7 hours away. So it's been crazy. But look what we have. It's here. Let me get you and bring you back here and show you it all. I couldn't be more happy. La la la. Bam. Tailgate table. That's actually for a Jeep JKA, or a JK, sorry, a JKA. But it was simple to modify and put it on there. A couple riv nuts. And look what we got. Perfect table. So that's where all my cooking begins. But what I wanted to show you guys is this. This is something that they just don't have released yet. This is a 75% seat delete in the back of a Bronco Raptor. Nobody's got one. What you don't see in here is there's a 2.5 kilowatt heater in here. There's a 140 watt amp hour lithium battery. There's a 1200 watt Victron charger, an inverter, and MPPT inverter in here as well for solar. We don't have that yet because it goes on the roof, but it'll be soon. I've got lights. I threw all the readouts here that I'll show you, and then across here I added 4 powered USB off the separate house battery. There's the ARB twist lock refrigerator connector, which is absolutely a game changer. If you've ever done a lot of trailing, you'll know that the refrigerator is on, off, on, off, on, off. That's done. I've got my fan. I've got, of course, right here, I've got my paper towel holder, and then you see the fan. Let me get some lights. Let me brighten it up in here, and then I'll show you the rest. Okay, so obviously right here, the big thing in the picture, that's for my refrigerator. Now you can see the box extension that I use for the diesel heater. The diesel heater is internally inside that. It's sunken down to the floor pan of the Bronco, drilled through and insulated from the actual floor panel, the sidewalls, everything, so that nothing gets too hot. And obviously, this was done in Brocklanders. And so that was a 5K. This is now a 2.5K that should have been in Brocklanders, but because they didn't have one available, I now have it in this one. Just above it, we'll go ahead and zoom in real close. So basically what you can see is this is all my power for the house system. On the left, right there, those 2 outlets are 2 dual USB setups. Then next to it is our standard 2-prong refrigerator style connection. And so one's a twist lock, one's a standard connection, and then next to that's my fan, and then of course right in that little corner, right there, you see that little LED. I use those internally because, and yes, they're RGB. The reason why I use them internally is because it gives me the ability to select colors. And the reason why that's important is because obviously when we're at camp, we don't always camp in the winter, so there's always bugs. And the neat thing about it is it's all done by app. And at any point in time, if you want color or you want lighting, internally it's pretty simple. So they just come on, and then now you've got internal lighting. Now the neat thing about it is I can change the color temperature to obviously to whatever you can, come up with. So that's a game changer, right? And so maybe I want it to kind of somewhat emulate, the screens over there on that display. I can do that. Whatever it may be, that's something I can do. And the reason why I use that is because when I've gone ahead and shut down at camp and I'm kind of relaxing, I like to turn these on and then bring the brightness way down. I'll bring them real down. And then I usually have them on a nice red. And the reason being is because it's easy to read in, bugs aren't attracted to it, and it makes having a separate light system better to deal with. You're not dealing with headlamps, you're not dealing with trying to turn on the internal lights that continue to go off because of you know, the car's natural ability to turn itself off and the lights off when the dome light finally surpasses a certain time limit. These kind of things just make camping easier. Obviously, right here is where I put in my deep sleep. It's an air-up mattress by Deep Sleep, and I just blow it up right here, and I have all this bedroom right here for when I sleep internally and I don't take Kong the trailer. If you guys are new to the channel, I have also built an incredible off-road trailer right there. I've got lots of videos on that. If you want to check that out, you can go to the channel, go to playlists, and you'll see Kong, and that's it, the off-road trailer. It's a monster too. Anyway, back to this. So over on this side, so right there are two things. One is the internal shunt readout for the battery, so I can always monitor ongoing voltage, battery capacity and such. And so I know kind of where the battery is and if I'm charging or not. And also right next to it is the Bluetooth digital controller for the heater. Pretty simple to operate by the controls on the front. You can Bluetooth it with a little remote if you so choose to, but I'm always inside, so it's easy. The neat thing about this one is, and I'll kind of see what I can do as far as jumping in there. The neat thing about it is I have the ability to run it two different ways. I can run it off a power level, where basically what it'll do is it'll run on whatever you set in manual mode, whatever temperature desired, as long as you have it at that temperature. It also has an auto mode, so you could set it at a certain temperature that you want it to achieve internally inside the cabin, and then it'll turn itself off. And then once the temperature drops below that, it'll come back on, which is nice if you don't have a full-time house battery system like I have. So say you're using a Blue Eddy or a Goal Zero or something like that, and so you want to really maintain your power because it's the only one you have. It's pretty neat because it'll shut itself down, and it really doesn't take much electricity to operate it, which is the neat thing. That's about it as far as the options that we put in back here, but I did want to do something and I wanted to show you. Now, you'll have to forgive me. Let's jump way back. You'll have to forgive me and I'll put this right here. That way you guys aren't getting that light in your face. But right here is a false floor. And I don't have the locks on it yet because I just haven't had time to get them. But basically, you can take this and move this floor right out of the way. And I'll bring you in so you can see it. But underneath there, that used to be the Ford factory cubby hole, okay? And so what you can now see is that I hid all the electrical in there, okay? And what you'll see right there is that's my MPPT solar charge controller with Bluetooth. That's the main fuse system. And then all of a sudden you can see all the cables coming in and out. So that kind of shows you what's going on. And then right back under there, which you can't see real well, is where the DC to DC charger is. Now, I wonder if I can, oh, there it is. So that's it right there. So anytime I need to get to this stuff, it's not buried under something. Because when I am traveling, let's jump back out. When I am traveling, what I'll do is all my boxes and stuff are basically strapped down in this area here. So it's never in a situation, unless I'm asleep, which if I was asleep, I wouldn't get up to do it. But what it does, it gives me the ability to, if I need to, I can get back there, take a look at it, and then when I'm done with it, close it back up again. And like I said, the two retainers aren't in here because they haven't even come in yet. So hopefully I'll have those soon. But that's simple, and you can see what I did. And the reason why I did it that way is because you're trying to maximize the space you have up here. Therefore, there's more things out of your way, and you have more room to move in here. Because I try to camp in all sorts of weather and in all sorts of climates and places. And so I want the ability to be able to camp at all times. And so if I need to crawl in here and sleep because of whatever's going on in the ground tent or Kong or whatever, I can. Plus, when I'm tired driving on the road, I can stop, pull over, and jump in here and go to sleep. And all I have to do is lay that seat down because we still have its full functionality, which is nice. So all I have to do, well, first I gotta move my Morflate air system. But all I have to do at that time is simply move my 2 boxes over there, and now they're out of the way, and I still have this entire sleeping platform. This, guys, has been a dream come true, and just a building up of lots of fruits of my labor. I've been working on it. This is the channel's 5th vehicle. We did a RIP supercharged Jeep JL that I built. We did a fun delete Gladiator, and it was just bananas. Then we went to a Gen 1 Raptor pickup truck I Whipple supercharged it. That thing was insane. On 37s, hidden winches, all kinds of cool stuff. And then I built Brocklanders. Brocklanders was something that I had a huge appreciation for because it was the 6th gen Bronco, the first Bronco that they'd come up with since, I guess, the Bronco 2, the little one that they had in the late 80s, but a true capable Bronco. And, you know, growing up, my mother had one. It was black and silver, 351 Cleveland, I think is what it was in. Big chrome rally wheels. It was something, you know, it was something I looked at as a kid thinking, man, I'd love to have something like that. And then later on, obviously, we got to Brocklanders. And to be able to get that guy and build him into what he was super fulfilling for sure. And so this was just kind of like a step above. What I didn't do in that one, I wanted to achieve through this one. Before I go into the front cubby, I wanted to talk about this right here. And so all of my wires, except for one, are run internally in a factory loom. And it goes inside the tailgate across here and then comes out. And so where it comes out is the original factory port down there. But the neat thing about it is so when I'm out on the trail, if you look right in there, you'll see, well, I guess I can probably do that for you. You'll see an amber and a white. Those are extended, the clears are the extended reverse lights, and then the ambers is what I use for chase lights. And the difference between this rack system is it looks like a standard tire rack system, but what you can't see is I built a bracket piece that goes across and ties them together. So if you have a flat, it's still hard pieced across it, so you can still put it down on a tire and you can still crank this thing down unless your tire is just completely missing. But it's something I really like. And then of course my WeBoost antenna, and then that's the bottom for trail whip that you're required to have at pretty much any sand park. Moving on. And remember, in the comments below, if you have questions about the entire power system, you know, what I used all Victron stuff, and so far the ability to have an app to look and see all these things real time has been real nice. The one thing that I did want to show you guys is my trusty Vanagon. I keep that dude with me in all the rigs. He goes with me because this is what I dream of, solo travel and going to all the places we want to go. I've been on the job 19 years, 7 months. So hopefully one day I'll get to see that dream into fruition. And I know you're going to see this, so you're going to ask. So yes, that's 110 power. The reason why that's 110 power is I have a small 110 collapsible water boiler. And the reason why I have that is because it's just in cases, right? And I have run out of propane before. And one thing you guys will learn about me if this is your first on the channel is I'm a huge coffee guy. And so if I don't have coffee, I'm just terrible to deal with. Anyway, this is a short one, so let me jump up front and let me show you the Cubby that I'm super proud of. So what we struggle with in vehicles like this is space. And the reason why I say that is, so the big mantra to myself is, I know we don't get great gas mileage and all that things, is less drag. Like the biggest thing I think about is low drag, high speed. And the reason being is because we already do enough of these vehicles, we put big tires on them, we weight them down. The last thing I want to do is have a roof rack and a bunch of big Rome boxes or what Apache boxes on top. Just slow us down even more, because I just said I work a lot. And so considering I work a lot, when I get on the road, I need to be there and enjoying my time and fulfilling the time that I have before I have to turn around and come back. So basically it's trying to have to encapsulate everything you need for camping and survival and emergency first aid and things like that in the Bronco at the same time, it always being in ready status, right? So now that it's built, I'll go ahead and put the things that I need in here, and the entire vehicle will be ready. If I came home and hit the power, I would for sure have the ability to capture water and filter it. I would have the ability to treat trauma wounds. I'd have the ability to put out fires. I've got my chainsaw with me at all times. So it's just about readiness as well. It's not just an overland vehicle, it's about being ready. And so that's why all this stuff means so much to me, because it needs to be a versatile platform. I wanted the most capable Swiss Army knife, and this was it. So, it's really sad to admit, in Brocklanders, I had an entire full bed system in here, full platform system, but I've been in a long-term relationship, and there was a requirement for a need of a third seat, and then unfortunately, and in my opinion too short, that relationship came to an end. So I built it all with the premise that I would have a third person in the back seat, and now I don't. So I will just learn to live with it. So, since I hadn't been on camera very much, I'll go ahead and get up here. And all this is my Morphlate system, 4-tire air-up system, which if you don't have one, I suggest it, okay? I've got a video on those things. Anyway, the neat thing about this is all the space. So this, where all the stuff that'll stay in a vehicle, that are required to be in a vehicle, will stay and be housed. So right here, this is my Life of Pi 140 amp hour battery, which is more than enough to do what I do, considering my solar charger capabilities, and then of course the DC to DC conversion capabilities. And then right here is a 1200 watt Victron inverter. In this cubby, which, I mean, it's bananas how big it is. There's so much space in here. I will put all my first aid, I'll put all my trauma stuff in here, and then of course rain jackets, anything accessory based that needs to stay in this vehicle will be housed in here. And then of course when I go on trips, I don't take a bag. I pack all my bags in either Blue Ridge Overland small bags, or some bags, honestly, that used to be the clear plastic bags that came on jumper cables. I use those for socks and underwear and toiletries. Anyway, I throw all that in here. So again, instead of having any type of extra bag, all I have is my boxes. One houses my camp gear, the other houses pots and pans and my food items. The rest of the stuff goes in the refrigerator. Anything else will be housed in here. Now the other two things I do carry, I carry my tool rolls, I have 2 of them, and then I carry all my camera gear and drone gear as well for videoing, obviously. So this is it. This is the first rendition. I was hoping to have the lights sorted by this video so you guys could see what I chose. Unfortunately, it's still been a toss-up, and on top of that, I'm still being offered back and forth some pretty good opportunities. So it's just a matter of deciding what's best for me and the channel and the truck, and what suits our needs, because this will be a minimalist build. On some of the other vehicles, most of the other vehicles, I had a lot of lighting. With this one, I'm gonna run with the chase lights in the rear and the extra reverse lights, and then also in the front, I'll have a dual set of ambers and a dual set of whites, and that's it. I'm gonna try to keep it minimalistic, and the reason being is I pretty much want to be able to buy anything in America here, whatever state I'm in, or at least have the ability to get to it. And then secondly, because I want to be able to drive this thing straight to the dealership and say, hey, this is what's wrong with it, fix it, right? So let's close it out. Jesus, you guys are tall. So that being said, this is the dude. You see my license plates are there. Rocks, please. That's my guy. And so I'm super excited about it. Nothing's much has changed up here. A little decal just to kind of change mine up from everybody else's. And then the amber covers. Again, up front, we're going to do a winch. We're going to do a winch bumper. I don't like the big lower jaw look where it sticks out real far, so that's something I'm still working on. Other than that, guys, I know it was a short video, and I know I seem super excited about it, but because I'm gone all the time, and because I had such a short time to build it in, everything had to be precise, and everything had to work the first time. And thankfully, knock on wood somewhere, or you guys knock on wood for me somewhere, I haven't had any setbacks yet. And so that's something greatly appreciated for me, because I'm a high efficiency kind of guy, and I don't like to do things more than once. So with the small bit of time that I had, I needed to get it all done, get it prepared, get ready, and then now Wednesday, get ready to get on the road and head to Utah. So anyway, remember, if you like this video and you want to share it, if you have questions, ask below. Down below, my swag should be going across there, and there's also a heart button. If you want to buy me a coffee, click that button, buy me a coffee. I would really appreciate it. I work hard for this stuff, guys. And I try to bring it to you guys in the best fashion I can, so that if you're having questions about doing something, or you're wanting to do something and want to know if you can conquer it, like, that's what this channel's for. So anyway, we're going to try to get to 5,000 this year. I don't know if it'll happen. I struggle for some reason where other channels seem to just take off for whatever reason. Either way, thank you for watching this. It really means something to me. I appreciate it. This is a craft of something that I love. And so, anyway, I have a Patreon, www.patreon.com/MaximumOverland. That's all I got for you. The next thing you'll see is probably another, I've been requesting to do this again, another one of those ASMR videos. So I think that's what we'll pop this trip off with next. So the next thing you're going to see is that ASMR video, and then you're going to see the Sand Hollow United by Bronco Crazy Fest in a really cool wheeling park. And then after that, we're going to team this dude up with that dude and go check out this crazy new suspension we built on this trailer. And we're going to go somewhere and try to do no overlanding. What we're going to do is we're just going to go try to camp. So anyway, I'll see you next time.
Just waiting on you and me. Look alive, 'cause
wait, hold on. I'll roll to the end in a second. Anyway, I wanted to show you this. The last thing I didn't show you guys. This is the custom mount that I built for a Roto Pax holder. And what it does is it's how I get the fuel out and to my filter that goes around the tailgate and down into the bumper, that allows it to open and not stretch the hose. Anyway, that's how I fuel the diesel heater. See you next time.
I was waiting for you.